For like decades, the music industry had this one clear rule. You only share the perfect, polished, finished song. But what if that whole way of thinking isn't just outdated, but is actually the very thing holding you back from finding your most loyal fans? I want you to really sit with this question for a second. Is that chase for the flawless final track actually building a wall between you and the people who want to connect with your music the most? Today, we're going to dig into why the answer to that is very, very likely yes. See, this is the heart of it all. There's been this huge cultural shift. Listeners today, they are starving for authenticity, for a real connection. They don't just want to be handed a finished product at the end of an assembly line, they want a backstage pass to the whole creative ride. So let's break down what this shift actually looks like. We're talking about moving from a really traditional, closed-off model to something that's way more open and connected. And when you put it side by side like this, wow. The old way was all about mystery, right? A hidden process, a distant, untouchable artist, and this perfect thing delivered to a fan who just consumes it. But this new way, it's all about sharing the journey, embracing the realness of it all, and this is key. It humanizes you, the artist. It turns fans from just consumers into actual participants in your world. And this brings us to a really beautiful idea. There is actual magic in the mess. You know, those raw, unfiltered moments of creation, they have an emotional power that sometimes, believe it or not, gets polished away in the final mix. Just think about it. When you hear a stripped-down demo, you're not just hearing a song. You're hearing the feeling that started it all. Those little so-called imperfections, that crack in a voice, the sound of fingers sliding on a fretboard, they don't take away from the music. No way. They create this incredible sense of intimacy. It makes a listener feel like they are literally sitting right there with you as the song is being born. This just hits the nail on the head. When your fans get to hear a song's early life, their whole relationship with it changes. They're not just listening to a track anymore. They're investing in its story. They become a part of its evolution, from this fragile little idea into something fully formed. So, how does this connection actually work? Well, sharing your unfinished work, it humanizes you. That vulnerability is like a super glue for building bonds. It lets fans in on the song's emotional origin story, which, funny enough, makes the final, polished version feel even more powerful. It creates this amazing sense of a shared journey, like, hey, we were there for this song from the very beginning. Okay, so let's take this one step further. How do we go from just showing your work to actively involving your fans, turning them into a vital part of your creative world? We're talking about a concept here we can call fan inclusion, and it's so much more than just being transparent. It's an active invitation. It's about creating a two-way street where your audience feels not just seen, but genuinely heard, valued, and important to the process. And you could start this, like, right now. It does not have to be complicated. First, share the scraps. That little voice memo of a chorus idea you recorded at 2 a.m., post it. Second, ask for their input. A simple poll, which lyric hits you harder, this one or that one, can make a fan feel a real sense of ownership. And finally, show them the evolution. Let them follow a song's journey. It creates a story that they'll be hooked on. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, the good news is, we are living in an absolute golden age for this kind of connection. Seriously, think about how powerful this is. Back in the day, there were real barriers. Studio costs, record labels, distribution gatekeepers. Not anymore. The tools are right at your fingertips, and a lot of them are totally free. The only thing standing in the way now is that little voice in our head that says everything has to be perfect before anyone can see it. And here is your toolkit. Instagram and YouTube, perfect for those quick snippets and behind-the-scenes videos. SoundCloud and Bandcamp are like a safe haven for hosting demos, draft EPs, whole workshop collections. If you want to create a real inner circle for your most dedicated supporters, Patreon is literally built for that. And hey, never forget the power of your own website and email list for sending out those exclusive perks. So the tools are there, the desire from fans is definitely there, but there's still one big hurdle: fear. Let's talk about that and why getting over it leads to a much, much bigger reward. And look, these fears are 100% valid. Every single creative person has felt these. The fear of being judged, the worry that you'll spoil the big reveal, the concern that showing rough ideas just looks unprofessional. These are real anxieties that perfectionism loves to feed on, but they're based on a total misunderstanding of what your fans actually want from you.
This is the big one, isn't it? The one that keeps us up at night. What if I put this demo out there and people think it's bad? That question can absolutely paralyze any artist.
But here's the honest-to-God truth, and it is so liberating. Your true fans are not critics waiting to pounce on you. They are your cheerleaders. They're excited to hear anything from you. They don't see imperfection, they see courage. They respect the trust that you're placing in them by sharing something so vulnerable. And if we could actually map it out, this is what the response really looks like. The vast, vast majority of your audience is going to respond with excitement and curiosity. And those judgmental voices you're so worried about, they are a tiny, insignificant little sliver. You're building for the people in those first 2 bars, not the last one. And just look at the payoff for taking that leap of faith. This isn't just about warm, fuzzy feelings. These are real, tangible, career-changing benefits. We're talking a deeper emotional bond, unbreakable fan loyalty, keeping people engaged. Even when you don't have a new album out, you get priceless feedback, and you build a truly authentic brand and a community that feels more like a family. So here's the call to action, and it's simple. Just take one small step. You don't have to unlock your entire vault of demos tomorrow. Just post a 30-second voice memo of a chorus you're working on, go live for 10 minutes while you're messing around on your guitar. Just start the conversation. Because ultimately, this is what it's all about. The art isn't just the final framed painting on the wall. It's also the messy, beautiful, inspiring process of putting that paint on the canvas. And when you let your fans see that, you give them, and yourself, a much richer, more meaningful experience. You remind everyone that the real magic, it's in the journey.